Hey guys, this girl got game. Welcome back to England Exchange, and we got some happy music to lead us into the beginning of Brendon's route. So, yay! All right, let's go and do this and see what the heck's gonna happen. I don't know. I just don't know. We'll find out soon enough. The main thing I'm curious about is what is gonna go on with the thieving thing, because I'm convinced he has a part to play in that. So I'm really curious how that's gonna go down this time. But anyway, let's begin with when we first meet him. We're gonna briefly chat with Ashley, but then he's gonna interrupt, so let's do it. I hesitated in the doorway, unsure whether someone was supposed to seat me or if I should seat myself. Glancing up, she waved me over. Hello, how can I help? She paused in the middle of her sentence, glancing across the room. I followed her gaze and saw a slab of beef walk into the pub, so to speak. He had dirty blonde hair, piercing blue eyes, and an extremely fit body. The kind of guy you assumed had a six-pack just from the way he walked. He eyed her carefully, then crossed and sat down next to me. When I turned back to face the bartender, she was gone.
Hello there. I don't think we've met. I'm Brendon.
No accent! He was American! You know, I had forgotten you were American, actually. That's right, you're a fellow American. I'm MALIA. I'm a new boarder at the One.
Really? I live there too. What a coincidence.
Oh, are you part of the program?
Yeah, it seems the hostel owner and the bar owner are old school buddies. Kind of odd that they've stayed in business so long together. Even odder once you meet them. But it means I have a job, so I'm not upset.
Well, it's good to meet you. The conversation reached a natural lull and I began to sweat. Making small talk was fine for me, as I usually repeated the same pleasantries with each person I met. But as soon as I had to find something to talk about, I panicked and drew a complete blank. Like right now. It didn't help that he was extremely attractive, and the girl at the bar was too. This just wasn't something I was used to dealing with, not when I was actually open to romance. He smiled and leaned on his elbow.
I hope you don't mind me saying, but you're rather pretty.
Oh? I flushed and looked away. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed the bartender watching us carefully and wondering why she hadn't come over to serve us yet.
You know, I could get you something if you want sometime. I work here.
You do?
Yeah, but I'm off duty right now, so there's only Ashley serving.
He motioned to the bartender and she frowned. She started cleaning a sparkling glass with a rag as if there was a spot on it only she could see. He leaned next to me.
Don't tell people, but she and I used to date. Things have been a bit awkward since then.
Oh, that must be uncomfortable.
Right, but it's my job. I'd much rather we both had some space, but what can you do?
He shrugged. I shrugged. You really couldn't help a situation like that.
Anyways, it's about time for my shift, so I should go change. I hope I'll see you around for dinner at some point.
Yeah, that would be cool. He chuckled lightly and got up, walking around the bar and disappearing through a dimly lit hole in the wall. Alright, and then Ashley's back, so we can skip ahead for a bit until we run into the slab of beef again. Yay. I don't have to call my friends, but I do want to call them just for one thing. There's an option to pick Aussie as, like, a girl to be interested in. I can't remember if I did this one, actually. Hold on, let me just... Can I... Let me see if I can save. Brendon 1. Okay. Did I do this one? Yeah, we did. Okay. Yeah, we can probably do this one and then this one next time. Alright. Does Aussie count? Well, there was this gorgeous girl named Aussie. Looks like a Bollywood star. She works at the same hotel I'm assigned to.
Sounds promising.
Except I caught her fooling around with a guy while she was supposed to be on the clock, and now she wants to claw my eyes out.
Whoops.
Sorry to disappoint you. Poor Jinsu. He was so excited for a hot second. I'm like, dang. Alright, Mark. I think you're next, actually. I'm very happy about that. Mark's a good boy. So are you, Angie. Even though you're frustrating sometimes. And we'll do that one. No, we're not gonna try out today. And you're our last one. I should actually say not yet when I'm on Jinsu's route. Is it Jinsu or Jihyo? Did I get them confused? I think it's Jihyo. Yeah, Jihyo. Jinsu is the awesome guy who's my friend, and is always trying to get me together with ladies. I am too busy, Peggy. Sorry, I've been horribly distracted. I'll just go to computing. Yeah, Jihyo. So sorry, Jihyo. I'll help Danny, I guess. Why not? Oh, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hi, Brendon. Okay.
Hey there, Malia.
Brendon! Hi! Brendon came up to me while I was reading in the living room.
What's that book about?
It's something from my literature class. It's about the author's experiences in Rhodesia, Zimbabwe.
Oh, sounds interesting.
He didn't look interested at all. I chuckled and continued reading.
Well, that's good.
I glanced up at him. Yeah. He didn't say anything else, so I went back to the book.
Yup, pretty great.
I looked up again. Is there something you need? Were you wanting to talk?
No, of course not. I'm gonna go then.
Oh, okay. Did I offend him or something?
See ya, Malia.
Goodbye? Off he went. I set the book down next to me, no longer feeling like reading. Did I do something wrong, or what was that about? That scene always reminds me of Gaston. This book has no pictures in it. How can you possibly read this? Alright. Now I get to pick some options that I haven't wanted to, ever. So yay. Absolutely exhausted, I decided to head down to the Crafty Crown after work. A nice drink and some time off my feet sounded great. I sat down on one of the high bar chairs and scanned the counter, unsure of what exactly to do. It was my first time being served at a real actual bar. I'd been to restaurants with bars in them and even snuck into a few nightclubs here and there, but I had never actually ordered myself a drink. Was I supposed to call a bartender to me, or...
Hello there.
Brendon appeared before me, an easy smile on his face and a glint in his eye. Oh, hello. I forgot that you work here.
Indeed I do. And how may I help such a lovely lady?
My face grew hot. I would like a drink, please. An alcoholic drink.
Alright. What kind of drink?
Vodka cranberry? At a loss for the kinds of drinks they actually served in bars, I asked for the first thing that came to my mind. Well, the first thing that wasn't too embarrassing to say out loud. Most of the cocktail names that had reached me through cultural osmosis had ridiculous titles like Sex on the Beach. No way could I order that from him. Brendon nodded at my order and started preparing the drink, which I assumed meant it wasn't too strange of a choice.
You planning on partying a lot while you're here?
Eh? I guess I haven't really thought very much about what I'm going to do while I'm here.
How old are you?
I looked away. It was legal for me to drink while I was in England, I was pretty sure, but I still felt like I was doing something wrong. 19. He paused, looking at me with surprise.
Not old enough to drink back home, eh?
No. Is that a problem? Brendon took a glance down the bar, then leaned forward and whispered in my ear.
To be honest, I'm only 20.
He pulled away and gave me a wink.
So how about we just keep this a secret between the both of us? I won't tell if you won't.
I grinned. Deal. But then how did you end up being a bartender? Don't you have to pass a test or something usually?
Well, I'm still new to the craft, so I hope you don't mind that I'll probably mess up a ton.
Oh, it's no problem.
Here's your drink, by the way. Sorry it took a bit, I was distracted.
He was looking at me intensely, and suddenly I felt like I was next in line for a roller coaster. It's no problem. He smiled again. It was still relatively early, so there weren't many other customers to serve, and it seemed like Ashley had them covered. Instead, he set his elbows on the counter.
So, where exactly are you from?
The Bronx, New York.
Whoa, got a big city girl, don't we? And what set you off on this journey?
Oh, I just wanted to, experience new horizons. I hesitated. Brendon was looking at me with such openness, I felt like I could trust him. It was a little embarrassing, explaining what really brought me here, but since coming, it had been constantly on my mind. Might as well get it off my chest. To be honest, I don't really have much of an idea of what I want to do in life. I'd never been to another country. I'd never even been out of the Northeast before. I figured getting out and seeing the world a bit might help me decide. It's no good living in a bubble. I guess going from one big city to another isn't that much different, but at least there are people here that from more parts of the world. He nodded, satisfied.
I'm from Miami myself. We're both East Coasters, even if you're way up in the north. Not so different.
I figured Miami was more like California, all beaches and blondes and swimsuits.
Well, we still have hot babes in swimsuits, but we have a lot more old people. A lot of people retire in Miami. A lot of people also sell drugs, but...
That's the same in any big city.
So you won't mind if I tell you I do too. Do you want any?
What?
I'm joking, calm down. You're pretty gullible, aren't you?
He picked a cloth up from the counter and began to fold it, stopping when it became too small to continue and starting over again.
You should be careful. You don't know what kind of people there are here in England. Can't let your defenses down. But I'm sure living in New York taught you that.
Maybe. But I'm sure I'll be fine.
If you ever need any help, you can come to me. I'll be sure to protect a girl as cute as you.
Okay, I'm actually thinking that if we want to get a better ending with Brendon, we shouldn't play into, his assholery too much, for lack of a better term. So, and no, I'm not just trying to avoid going the thank you, that's sweet route so far. But I'm going to operate off the assumption that maybe if we want a better ending, we can't be naive with him. So I'm gonna try. This may just not work out at all, but I'm gonna try. Let's do what we've done before, and then, yeah, let's just see what happens. You only protect cute girls. Shouldn't you want to protect anyone who needed it, not just the cute girls? I know it was just a compliment, but...
Got a sassy one here. I like that.
Was that supposed to be a compliment too? It was as much of a compliment as someone saying you're cute when you're angry. I don't need to be protected. I can take care of myself. I've handled my share of creeps. He nodded.
You do seem like a pretty strong girl.
I didn't make it to 19 by trusting everybody I see.
A good lesson to learn. By the way, how's the drink?
I glanced at the cup in my hands. I was so busy talking with Brendon that I forgot to even drink any. I quickly took a sip. Ugh! It's really strong.
Is that bad? Sorry, I told you I'm not very good at this.
And we'll just be honest that, your drink kinda sucks, man. It's not good, but maybe the next one will be better, right? That might have sounded a little flirtatious, but he didn't seem to notice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get better at this.
A vodka cranberry was a pretty simple drink, too. He really wasn't qualified to mix drinks at all. Was he hired just for his looks or something? Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he was. He glanced past me, then flipped the cloth over his shoulder.
Looks like I've got some customers to serve. I guess I'll see you around?
I'm sure you will. We lived in the same building, after all.
Great. See you later.
He walked off to intercept a couple that had just come in. They appeared to enjoy the view, but those poor people had no idea what they were in for. I wonder how many horrible drinks I'm going to have to drink on this route. Oh, sorry, Ash. Not this time. I won't be jealous of anybody here. Okay, Peggy's here, so I will not hug her. So neither of us get any wrong ideas. Okay. Since Brendon's here, I crept into the dining area, following my nose. Somebody had cooked something lovely. I was met by Aussie, Brendon, Ashley, and to my utter surprise, Jihyo. Ashley looked up and smiled when I came in. Hello, everyone. I glanced at the plate loaded with food in the center of the table. I don't know if, perhaps, I could have some. Huh. Aussie opened her mouth to respond, but... Of course! The more the merrier! Aussie glared at me, but shut her mouth. The decision had been made. I smiled at Ashley in thanks, then got some food for myself and took a seat with the others. I hadn't seen much of Jihyo around the hostel, but it didn't seem like I would be able to get to know her very well in this group of people. Aussie and Brendon were deep in a discussion about some spat between a celebrity couple, each on total opposite sides of the debate. Ashley kept trying to make peace, but they were not having it. Jihyo, meanwhile, quietly ate her food and observed. After a while, I drew out Ashley's attention and we began a conversation about different kinds of food we liked in restaurants we'd been to. Jihyo didn't join in, but she turned her deep brown eyes on me, and I grew hot under her gaze. It was so... intense. Like having the weight of 1,000 rocks hung on my shoulders. Despite that, I actually got her to laugh a few times, and Ashley and I had fun. As the conversation went on, I suddenly noticed the rest of the room was quiet. Aussie and Brendon had stopped arguing and were now staring at me. I don't know why, but their stares felt different from Jihyo's. Aussie's especially made me uncomfortable. I did my best to ignore the feeling of being judged and carry on. Eventually, we finished our meal, and I helped Ashley clean up after everyone else left. Thanks for another great meal, Ashley. She blushed and shook her head. No problem. It was an odd evening, but a pleasant one. Okay, so he's still giving me the stink eye during that. Interesting. Alright. I mean, I'll help Aussie, I guess. We're gonna be hanging out with her a bit, unfortunately. Alright, Star Wars reference. Okay, we're doing all that. Our spat with Angie. Okay. And it's Brendon time. I stomped into the crafty crown, absolutely seething with rage. Brendon saw me coming and, eyes wide, gestured to a stool in front of him.
Everything okay?
No! I can't stand Angelo! I swear, one of these days I'm going to just shove his head down the toilet.
Whoa, whoa! What happened?
He just refuses to work. He doesn't want to do anything because it's women's work. He spent half of today just staring at me. I have to make the beds, dust, polish and wax, run the laundry, everything, and I swear, I'm just... Ugh! Brendon rested a hand on my shoulder, and the sudden contact made me go silent.
That sounds rough. Angelo can be hard to deal with. It's amazing you've lasted so long without ripping him to pieces.
Instantly, my anger cooled. I mean, I try my best. We're stuck working on this job together, after all. It won't do if one of us gets fired. He's not usually this bad. He's just being a jerk right now.
Here, I'll get you a drink. You want the usual? Vodka cranberry? A what?
Right. Brendon's not very good at cocktails. Oh, never mind. How about a White Russian?
What's with these Russian-themed drinks? Are you some kind of commie? Is that the kind of guy you usually go for or something?
That was a bit unexpected. A vodka cranberry will do? Wait, isn't vodka Russian? That's probably why all those drinks have Russian names in the first place. But Brendon nodded happily and set about preparing the drink. I watched him from behind the counter. His uniform really suited him well, emphasizing his broad shoulders, not to mention the wiry muscles in his arms. It showed him off almost as well as Ashley's bartender outfit did her. The two of them should have been a picture-perfect couple, but something had obviously gone horribly wrong in their relationship. Ashley was so nice, too. At least she always seemed to be. What was the problem between them? He slid the glass over to me and looked at me expectantly. I took a sip. Ugh! I tried desperately but unsuccessfully to hide my gagging. Ugh! The syrup! It had been this long since he started, and he still hadn't gotten the hang of even a simple drink. How was the crafty crown still in business? I glanced around the bar. On the side where Brendon worked, there were almost no customers. In fact, all the customers were older men, crowding around Ashley's side of the bar and making small talk with her. Anyone who came in made a sharp right and headed to her area of the bar. Brendon followed my gaze.
Oh, her.
Maybe now is a good time to ask about them? What exactly happened between you and Ashley, by the way? If you don't mind my asking. Brendon's face darkened. He glared at Ashley as if trying to drill holes into the back of her head, clearly deep in thought. After a few seconds, he sighed.
Ashley was very sweet. She was very nice. But we weren't suited to each other at all. We have very different personalities. I'm a bit too gruff for her, I think. It's not that I'm mean, though. I'm not mean, right?
I cautiously shook my head.
See, it's just... sometimes I say things and they come out totally wrong. I'm not trying to insult people, and if they really trusted me, they'd accept that and trust that I didn't have any bad intentions. But instead, they seem to think the absolute worst of me. I've never really been able to keep a girlfriend tied down.
That certainly sounded all wrong.
It's just that things get all jumbled up. I swear I'm trying really hard.
Maybe he was kind of like Mark. Socially awkward. No, Mark is a sweet bean. I knows it.
I mean, you understand, right? Women can be really hard to deal with. They ask me for my opinion on an outfit or something and I tell them and they get mad. Why ask if they don't want the truth? I mean, you get me, right?
Okay, well, I am going to double down. I'm committed to this line of not being taken in. Maybe you're just a jerk? Because I know he's gonna ask me out no matter what I say to him, so whatever. Actually, you kind of sound like a douche. He smacked a hand to his face.
It's happening again. I'm not trying to be mean. I mean, isn't it better to be straightforward with people? Why bother asking a question if you just want the answer to make you happy? You might as well not ask it then. I can't be responsible for your happiness like that.
Why ask me if you didn't want my real answer? What a hypocrite.
I can't believe you don't get this. It's not a hard thing to understand. All women are the same, jeez.
And that was why he was a jerk, not because he was blunt. Regardless, I held my tongue. Brendon seemed really upset, and I didn't feel like getting any further onto his bad side.
Well, whatever. Anyways, I should get back to work.
He held up his arms as if posing for a strongman competition.
Gotta get good, you know. I'll talk to you next time. You'll come back again, won't you?
He looked so anxious asking me that I instantly agreed. Of course I will.
Awesome! I can't wait.
I watched him leave and greet another customer with a broad grin, then looked down at my botched drink. I decided to leave it behind. Blech. The syrup! Alright, Angie. Sorry, dude. Not this time, girl. Okay. Oh, interesting. So we had enough points with Danny here. I'll let it go, though. Oh. Now's the time! Yay! Here we go. I was nearly done getting ready in the morning and about ready to start my daily schedule when there was a firm knock on my door. I glanced at the clock. It was only 9 in the morning and on my day off, too. I crept to the door and cautiously opened it, desperately hoping it wasn't James asking me to pull an extra shift. Brendon? What are you doing here?
Malia, hi. I hope this isn't weird or anything.
No, it's a pleasant surprise. What's up?
Well, here's the thing. I have a really big, huge crush on you, and I was wondering whether you'd like to go on a date.
What? I took a step back and scanned him up and down. Freshly shaven, his hair neatly styled, and a faint scent of cologne, like he'd gone out of his way to get ready. His foot was tapping incessantly against the floor and he shifted nervously. This isn't a joke?
A joke? No, of course not. I like you. I think you might like me. So, what do you say? Will you go out with me?
Alright, everybody. Hold my virtual hand, we're going in. I'd love to. He beamed.
Really? Oh, that's awesome. I was thinking, how about we just go to a cafe or something? My treat. I'll buy you whatever you want to eat.
Sounds good to me. Just give me a second. I ducked back into my room and pulled on my shoes. A cute guy asked me out! If only Nene and Jinsu could see me now. I'm ready.
Great.
Brendon grabbed my hand and led me out of the hostel.
There's this little place only a few blocks away. I saw it and instantly thought of you, so I'm absolutely sure you'll love it.
Really? What makes you think that? He scoffed a little.
I pay a lot of attention to you, so I think I'd know.
I raised an eyebrow at his defensive tone, but said nothing. He must have been planning this for a long time. He must be really nervous. Me making a guy nervous. I giggled a little at the thought. Finally, we stopped halfway down a fairly busy street.
Here it is.
He pulled the door open and headed through while I followed closely behind. It wasn't what I would call a cafe at all, more of a coffee house. The lighting inside was dim and the old wood paneling made the space seem even darker. A few flyers for events were stapled to a board, but when I checked them out, it looked like most of them were for dates last year. There were plenty of customers, so I assumed the food was okay. Almost all of them were staring silently at laptops or newspapers, though. Brendon eagerly waved me over to the counter, where the barista watched us in total apathy. I take it he comes here often with ladies?
What do you want? I'm buying.
I peered over the selection of cakes, cookies, and pastries. On the second shelf was a plate of enormous brownies, and as soon as I saw them, a wave of homesickness passed over me. My mom used to bake me brownies all the time as a child. She said she would give me her secret recipe when I finally grew up, but I still didn't have it. Mom! I'd like one of those triple fudge brownies. Brendon frowned at me.
Those are really big, but I guess it's fine.
Are you gonna be one of those guys that's like, you're gonna get fat if you eat that stuff? He ordered a lemon tart for himself and paid the cashier. I grabbed us a table by one of the dingy windows towards the front of the room.
So, how do you like it?
Brendon set my brownie in front of me, eyes glittering. It's certainly atmospheric. I didn't want to be rude, but it really wasn't my style. The whole place felt oppressively claustrophobic.
Isn't it? It's something you'd see out of a detective film. I knew you'd like it.
I hadn't actually said I liked it, but never mind. I bit into the brownie and it melted in my mouth. I hummed in appreciation. The food's really good here.
Of course it is. Only the best from Brendon, right? You probably shouldn't eat that whole thing, though. That's got a lot of calories, and you don't need to gain any more weight. Save half for later.
Oh god, I knew it. What? I set the brownie on my plate, suddenly not very hungry.
Something wrong?
Of course something's wrong! That was horrible! He looked at me in utter confusion.
But I thought you said it tasted good.
Did you really not notice what you just said?
What did I say? Oh man, you're upset, aren't you?
Well, yeah, you basically just called me fat.
I didn't call you fat. Why are you putting words in my mouth? I was concerned about your health. I don't want you to get sick or something. And that brownie I bought you was the most expensive dessert on the menu. You'll appreciate it more if you don't eat it all at once. I'm sorry if I offended you, but I was trying to help you. Of course my efforts go unappreciated.
He frowned and put his fork down.
I didn't mean to make you upset.
Well, he looked at me like a dog caught stealing food from the kitchen. Oh, interesting. It gives you an option to just, like, get away from him right now if you wanted to. We'll forgive him, because we do want to go on this route, so we'll forgive him. I guess it's not that big a deal. After all, Brendon had already explained to me how bad he was at talking to women. I knew that before I agreed to go out with him. I owed it to him to trust him.
I feel really terrible now. Oh, I messed everything up, didn't I?
No, you didn't. It's fine. Really, I know you just meant the best for me.
Yeah.
He stared at his lemon tart. I took a few more bites of my brownie, trying to restore the mood, but then wondered whether it would be nicer to show I was taking his advice by not eating it. What was happening anymore?
Hey, do you want to head back?
What? Why?
Well, I wanted this to be perfect and I already messed it up. I just wanted to treat you to a nice date. I feel terrible now.
No, Brendon. I reached across the table and grabbed his hand. He glanced at it in surprise. You're fine. Really. I mean it. This was nice. I liked it. Words are just words, and they go away. I'm not even bothered anymore, see? I gave him a big cheesy smile. Regardless of whether he called me fat, I was pretty happy with my body. Sure, it brought up some insecurities, but as long as I focused on what I was happy with, they'd go away.
Malia, you're really amazing. I'm so lucky you're the person I ended up on this date with.
After that, the date went smoothly. We talked a bit more in the cafe. I didn't finish eating the brownie, but I didn't want to take it home either, and Brendon frowned when he took my plate away from me. But we went on a brief walk afterwards, joking and messing with one another. I forgot how easy it was to talk with someone from the same country. No confusing lingo, no subtle miscommunications, no weird expectations. No perfect gentlemen like Angie or Danny. It was nice, she says. Brendon dropped me off at my door.
That was fun. Thanks for coming with me.
He hesitated, then leaned in and brushed my lips with his. She says.
Thanks. I hope I'll see you again soon.
He winked and headed off down the hallway. I walked back into my room, heart thumping. Oh, just you wait, Nene. Have I got a story for you? Well, at least they didn't lose their clothes on the first date.